After the last session, I got this question. So we start with that question. It is there in the chat room. Can someone be in a contemplative mind, which is the level 5 mind, in a continuous way, 24/7 in the current world? So last session, we started with this sutra, Atha Yoga Anusasanam. Let's begin the discipline of yoga. Then we saw also the commentary by Vyasa, sage Vyasa Maharishi. And that's where we looked into these 5 states of mind, 5 different types of mind. Shipta, Muda, Vikshipta, Egakra, Niruddha. Doubtful mind, dull mind, forgetful mind, distracted mind, one-pointed mind, focused mind, restrained mind, absorbed mind. So today and tomorrow, these 2 sessions, let us focus to clear the questions. There are a few other students also want to ask questions, not only about this session and also about pranayama and meditation session. So if you have any doubts or questions on this practice, you please write down here in the chat box. This cat, until now it was sleeping. Hope it will settle sooner. Why I asked you to write down your doubts and questions? Because I also said in the previous session, right? It is not just about listening, accepting. It comes from Patanjali. It comes from Guruji. It comes from this master, that master. Because our purpose of gossiping is to clear our doubt. Not to simply accept, instead, bring everything into the experience. Probably at the beginning, we may not experience. If you recall your first asana session, if you have heard this instruction, straighten the leg or straighten the arm and feel the energy flow, energy movement. We had no idea. What we experienced that time, it is pain. I am straightening the leg, I am getting the pain. Or I am not able to straighten. Or I have no idea what the teacher is talking about. But as we practice, as we regularly, continuously doing the same thing, then slowly able to recognize when I am straightening the leg, when I am working with this muscle, that muscle, when I am able to look into, then I am understanding the energy flow, the difference between muscle stretching, bone holding the weight. When I press one side, what happens? When I press other side, what happens? So we can't reject the teacher straight away. What you are saying, I am not getting. You are talking about energy, intelligence. Because physically, mentally, we are not ready to understand. So we are giving the benefit of doubt to the teacher and bring that into practice. Over a period of time, we are experiencing or we are getting the glimpse of that. occasionally, sometime longer. This whole yoga practice is like that. So here when we are studying about the various statements, we have to start with a fresh mind, with an open mind. Why? We are exploring something which we don't know. So we are hearing from the masters who are already experiencing that or experienced that. But generally, our challenge is we approach with emotional connection. Anything. We lead the whole life based on these two. I like, I don't like. I love, I hate. It becomes, I think, global culture, global lifestyle. That happens when we study yoga also. We go to the yoga class, the teacher is strict, asking you to follow what is the guidance is given. Then immediately we judge. The teacher is not friendly. The teacher is rude. Not only not friendly, furthermore, the teacher is rude. I heard yoga practice means calm, quiet, peace. But this yoga teacher is shouting. So immediately we judge. And immediately we decide, this is a bad yoga teacher or this is not for me. Some reason or other. But here, when we are exploring this subject, we need to be aware of that and we need to be very clear. We don't allow that kind of emotions, judgments, and furthermore, allowing your own concepts, your own beliefs to overpower this exploration. Why? The whole idea of looking into this Yoga Sutra or various yoga masters is to find out about the ultimate reality, ultimate truth. That's what we looked into other session. Our purpose is not any kind of academic requirement. I need to finish this exam, so I need to study. Also in other session we saw, we have been looking for happiness. We have been doing many things in the life to be in the pleasant situation, pleasant experience all the time. So here the promise is what not only Patanjali, various masters, what they have been talking is about that pleasant experience. Uninterrupted, peaceful state, irrespective of the place, time, people, situation, nothing will disturb. So, I want to highlight that because there is a connection to these 5 states of mind for that. Otherwise, we approach, we study, we listen with this mindset, I belong to this race. I am from this country, this place. This is my culture. In my family, this is the custom. Also, this is my philosophy. This is my religion. Furthermore, this is my style of yoga. That's the other division now. I'm an Iyengar yoga student. I like Ashtanga, I don't like Iyengar. I like power yoga. I like Kundalini yoga. The whole idea is getting into yoga practice to get away from all these divisions. After started to this practice, it's the other type of division. We are adding more. We get that emotional attachment here also. Then the way we receive, even Buddha comes in front of you and talking about the truth. If you already see yourself, okay, I belong to Hindu religion. Buddha is not a Hindu. I belong to Christian religion. Buddha is not a Hindu or Christian. Then we are not ready to listen what he says. The emotional attachment will overpower even it is about the ultimate truth. Even if it comes from the great master. And which we are already experiencing in our daily life. Suppose you have a beautiful dog as your pet. It has gone out, but it didn't come back. You love that dog so much. You can see that what is the mindset within that few hours. You are saying it should not get any accident because the road is nearby. No, it should not be attacked by street dogs, stray dogs. And you are running around, chasing, looking everywhere. And that's the time you can look, you can observe also what kind of the mindset, the emotional state. Why? Because it is my dog. Because I like that dog. I love that dog. There are many dogs outside. Even your neighbor has a dog, street dogs. Many dogs got killed. Many dogs fighting each other, didn't get food. But we don't get any issue when it happens. Even something happens to your neighbor dog. The maximum you will say, it's pity it happened. You don't go through any emotional roller coaster. But when it happens, something you see already, my dog, I like, I love. I'm not giving the example of human being, that's more than that. My children, my family members, my parents, my friends, my siblings. I'm not even going to human beings. Even with animal, we can look into further with our own things. My car, my home, my book, my bag, my dress. There also we may have some emotional attachment connection. So which will not allow us to see the reality as it is. That's why we are struggling. So now when we are studying this, if we approach with the same mindset, we are blocking straight away. I love Iyengar. That means what? Anything Iyengar Yoga is good, is right. Anything Guruji Iyengar says, you know what Guruji Iyengar said? I'm giving this example, maybe it's very often you heard, or often you said maybe. Guruji Iyengar wrote, Guruji Iyengar said, instead of seeing through our own mindset, current condition, through our own experience, we work hard, we try hard to prove what he said or what his experience is right. Then the person who are very old means it is no other question. Patanjali 2000 years old. Vyasa 3000 years old. Then other Vedas 4000, 5000 years old. The older, there is no question about it. Buddha said, we try to just prove what Jesus Christ said, what is saying in the Bible, what is in Bhagavad Gita. So my request is, we have to look into our beliefs. These are all our beliefs. When we take birth, these are all given to us. Not only our parents, our culture, this concept of religion, everything is given. And we grow with that mindset. I belong to this race. I belong to this religion. So we need to look into that. Why we follow a religion? Why we follow a particular custom, a particular way of living? If you ask all these questions, the answer is same. We want to lead a happy life. We want to lead a peaceful life. Also, we want to know what is life. Furthermore, we want to be in that happy state, peaceful state all the time. Now, right, in this life. at this moment. The purpose of all the religion, customs, whatever the belief, so all the practice or guidance given according to that time, that tradition, that followers. Like we saw before us, everything is constantly changing, constantly evolving. This approach also need to be scrutinized, examined, questioned. If we look around throughout the world, the issue is we don't want to question of these beliefs. Still we have this high fever, right? Nationalistic fever. I belong to this country. This is my country. I'm so proud to say I'm Indian or Chinese or any country, whatever the country you belong to. If we look at our current lifestyle, it is totally outdated actually. All the countries are surviving because of politicians. Why? Because of power. The same ignorant mindset. So here, when we approach with the same mindset, you are totally going into opposite direction. So you need to make the U-turn if you want to listen the language of yoga. Just one example is good enough. The whole world is dying because of this COVID. And there are people who can have some kind of vaccination. So we don't need to go into that, whether it works or not. But if the scientist saying that is the solution, we are not make that available for everybody. Every country is a lot of scientific developments, achievements. Why? It belongs to some country or some organization. And it's very difficult to give it to others. They don't want to give the copyright or whatever that political thing. You can understand how the human mind has this kind of attachment which is even above the life of human being. So here, when we study, the other day we heard the story of Patanjali. So then it connected to certain gods and incarnation, and he has 1,000 heads and everything. It doesn't connect with our own experience, right? But we see it as a story. That Patanjali has written this. If we go detailed exploration of that story, we can't come to any conclusion, right? But we see it clearly. This is the story given. What is more important is the philosophy written. The philosophy, what he is talking about. Is it related with my experience now? then only we can examine. If we try to prove and if we try to say, okay, it is from my place, it is not from my place. This book is right, this book is not right. This master need to be followed, this master not to be followed. Straight away it will block. We are going to study whatever the knowledge we have now. What is the source of that? Is it everything through our experience? Or there are other ways that we are receiving the knowledge? Then we can clearly see how much we are doing things based on belief. Before going there, I just want to highlight that so that you have that open mind to listen to these stories. But at the same time, we should not accept it is coming from this big brand, Patanjali brand, Buddha brand, Jesus Christ brand, Lord Krishna brand, Guruji Iyengar brand, or anybody popular. So we can question our own belief in that way, not just because I've been following that for some time, not because it belongs to my family custom or religion culture. So with that open mind, here we have to look into what Patanjali says also, what Vyasa Maharishi says also. And it is not that something, if it is against our experience, we are going to straight away negate it, reject it. Definitely we need to give the benefit of doubt to the masters and wait for that doubt to be cleared. So whenever we study, you have to ask one more question. Is it the same experience I am getting, or is it something more, or it is something can be different? Now, Patanjali said, let's begin the teaching of yoga. Let's the discipline of yoga. Right? Let's start. More than that, he didn't say. Afterwards, the next sutra comes. It is all yoga is the fluctuation, cessation of the fluctuation of the mind. We'll go into that. But the commentator, sage Vyasa, he is the one explaining about these 5 different states of the mind. When he was explaining this first sutra, Atha Yoganuशासनम, then he is explaining this yoga is about this trance, the state of trance. that absorbed mind state. And it has not only that, all these different states of the mind. What we have to do when we study, we need to look into that. Is it only these 5 states of the mind or more than that? Do we experience all these 5 different states? Or I know only about few, others I don't know. Is it possible? Is it not possible? When we ask that kind of question, then we don't just read and the meaning of it, we read more than the explanation, because we learn through our contemplation. We understand through our own experience. Then there is no this blocked mindset, that covered mindset, that emotional attached mindset. So this question now about the state, is it possible to be into that absorbed state 24 hours in this current world? So let us look into that a little bit more, because it's very much related with our approach to study, how we supposed to study. And by this way also, it will improve for everybody how we have to approach that, give that broader view. Also, it will reveal the subtle aspects of this practice. So let us make it clear a little bit more, these different states of the mind. The first one, we saw the doubtful mind, right? It is not into its senses. It has that questioning, that wondering, is it so? This way, that way, like that, it is not fixed to one. We can easily relate with monkey mind. It doesn't stay in one thing. Constantly it is changing. The second one, that dull mind, forgetful mind. I read in a few places they relate with the donkey mind. I don't know, if we tell to donkey, the donkey may get angry. How come you say that I am dull? I see many human beings dullest and dumbest than me. In case, if we can understand its language, but they equate with the donkey mind. Very easily, in a way, you can say that, right? However, we see, we use that in the life. Then this vikshipta mind, the distracted mind, they say, which is the butterfly mind. Sometimes calm, other times keep moving. the short duration keep changes. This one-pointed mind, ekagra mind, which, as I said last time, any type, not only in yoga, anywhere anybody who is reaching the exalted state, the higher state, the greater state, that focus is there. Whether it is at home, simply taking care of the home, which is not simple by the way, whether it is office, whatever the position you are, and you are reaching the great heights, or any skill, any sports, anything. It's not necessarily for a long duration, even anything when we do the short duration. Standing in front of a sea, a great ocean, and just seeing the ocean, seeing the sunrise, sunset, mountain, a beautiful picture, drawing, enjoying the delicious food. When you are into that fully, you will see the different aspect of the same thing because of that one-pointedness. You will know about it completely. Now the last one, absorbed mind, restraint. So here the meaning we need to understand a little more. I don't know whether we get any experience of that. Probably we might have got glimpse of that in many occasions. When we are enjoying music, it is not about the person, it is not about the time, it is not about the place. It is just the music where you completely forget yourself, absorbed in that, where you forget not only yourself, you forget the place, time, everything. So the question is, when we are getting into that kind of state, 24/7, how we can live in this current world? When Vyasa gives that state of mind, it is not just about how I can use to live in this world. Rather, that state itself will become my world. Because which is equating, which is talking about samadhi, the various state of this trance. Why? Where the observing thing and the observing person becoming one. The meditator becomes the meditation. The difference between the seer and seen is disappearing. If you are not getting what is the seer, seen, What is this observer, observing thing? Just listen to this. Slowly you can get that experience in the meditation, at least to start with. That is what I gave the example of the deep sleep. We know the time going to bed, but we don't know the time when we are going into sleep. Even sleeping, we are dreaming and we don't know when we are moving into deep sleep state from the dreaming state. So, when we look into this, the experience or the nature of this restrained mind, we are allowing that to happen only when we have the clarity about ourselves and also about the so-called world and also about the life. That's where it happens. Until then, we are just trying to understand what is dharana, what is this distracted mind, what is this egakra mind. If you just take the meditation, even now when we are doing, I want to focus on the breath. How I am able to focus on the breath 100% continuously. I am seeing, then there is something happening, my mind is going somewhere else. I'm able to observe one point, other point changing. Then again I have to move back. So we can say we have not really experiencing or continuously experiencing this state, absorbed mind state, when it comes to yoga practice, which is nothing but samadhi. Which explains there is some different types of samadhi. So all we will look into that. Then when it happening, there is no question of the world. There is no question of life. There is not even question of your so-called body-mind sense complex. If you tell to your family members, they will say immediately stop yoga. If you do yoga, just to go to some yogasana, don't go into any of this philosophy and don't listen to this. Anybody who has this long beard and talking about this life this way and that way, immediately they will ask you to stop. You do meditation for a healthy mind, for a peaceful mind. That's why this whole meditation practice becomes a medication practice. Using meditation like a pill, like a medicine. I do many things. Then to balance, I go to 10 days Vipassana. And after the 10 days, I feel like refreshed. Then come back, do continuously other nonsense things. Then again I go there. After going there, I recovered. I feel better. Same way. All other months I don't care how I live. Then 1 month every year I go to retreat, yoga retreat. Go to Himalayas, go to Rishikesh. Live in this kind of atmosphere. Forget about everything. Refresh, rejoice. Recharge the battery. Go back home, again do the same nonsense. The impact may come for extend 1 week, maybe 10 days. After that, same. That's why then when people are now using many apps to do the meditation, calmness, peace, everything, 15 minutes, lunch meditation, morning meditation, night meditation. It helps. But here, the purpose is not to get into any kind of temporary appeasements, temporary satisfaction, temporary solution. That's why I didn't give the end date. Why I didn't give? We are approaching the same mind. Okay, course starting date. Okay, when the program will end? Even if we just study only Yoga Sutra, that 196 Yoga Sutra, in that many sutras we have to bypass. Bypass means which is totally like kind of like a theory. It says one sutra, by doing your meditation this way, you become like a feather, you will become like a weightless. You can fly, you can walk on water, and also you get this power. You can make yourself like atom size, an ant, or you can become a huge person. Even we follow anybody's commentary, Vyasa commentary, Vachaspati Mishra, Vijnana Bhikkhu, great names, Shankara, still it will be a theory to us. Even though it is not our purpose, if we really want to understand everything and bring that into our experience, after omitting even all those sutras, if we look at what we need, what is required for our current situation, to bring that into practice, to bring that into our experience, takes some time. Changes according to individual condition, their practice, mindset. But the idea is, as we come together, question, explore, share, clear the doubts, listen to these various masters. So what this person said, why Buddha said the other way, why Jesus Christ is this way. Within this yoga tradition, why they are talking into that way. We are not trying to prove what they are saying. Instead, we are trying to understand as per the current situation, condition. So when we approach with that open mind, it makes it easier. Why? It's very simple logic. It is not rocket science. If any person talking about the truth, the ultimate reality, the way they experience that reality should be the same. That's why it is truth, right? It is not okay. 2000 years before the truth was like that. Now the truth is changed. For Jesus Christ, this is the truth. For Shankara, this is the truth. For Buddha, this is the truth. If we study academically, we can debate. According to Buddha, then we can get into the words and trying to find the root of the words and find the fault grammatically. That is not the purpose. The experience should be the same. So now if I ask this question, do you have any other mindset? Do you have any other experience, different state of mind? Without this, more than this, 5 different states. So when we look into that way, then what happens? We don't just listen what Patanjali says or what we are talking here now. You take the message, then you relate with your daily life. Okay, I'm going to sleep. What kind of mindset? I am talking to this person. What kind of mindset? I'm reading this. What kind of mindset? I'm doing this work. What kind of mindset? What is this state? Is it in that doubtful state of mind or one-pointed? So that's what actual learning, where you learn through your own experience. Then you will see when there is fluctuation. That's what the next sutra comes. That fluctuation should stop. So now you are already seeing the experience, your own experience, the mind which is fluctuating or which is able to focus. Then you are able to trace. When I am doing this work, when I am with this person, I have this state of mind. Distracted or focused or restrained. So when you go through, look into that way, your experience already teaching the meaning of these words. Then you don't quote what Patanjali says. Instead, you see it through your own experience. Listen carefully. Yoga is nothing but experience. Not just asana experience. I need to emphasize that. The yoga ultimate aim or the destination or the stopping point is the experience where you are seeing the reality. You are seeing yourself. There are many masters lived in this restrained state, 24/7. How? That's why I'm saying, where there is no question of others, there is no question of world, there is no question of life, there is no question of themselves. It is nothing but the reality. We will really look into their life also. Like Ramana Maharishi is a good example of that. He lived 60 years back, 70 years back. There are other examples also. And also this experience of yoga, it is not limited to only one country. Say all these masters lived only in India. No. We have many examples from various traditions. There are many masters in Buddhist religion. There are many in Christianity, many in Islam. Many countries, even without belong to any of these kind of big traditions. Only we need to go through little bit experience what they are talking about. First, we need to go through the experience. Then we can interpret their explanation. We can really see why they have said this way. What they were trying, what they were expressing. Though it is not our purpose, but suppose you got yourself a strong mindset, I belong to this religion. My religion says this way. I belong to this yoga school. My yoga teacher says this way. I belong to this race. So this custom like that, this culture like that. If it is strongly sit in the mind, within that tradition itself, we can see many examples, which also we are going to look into. That's the other reason it may take some time. So, we may study about various gods, various masters, mythological stories, legendaries. Have an open mind. Listen. You accept, you don't accept. You believe, you don't believe. It's you have the choice afterwards, right? You have the choice. You don't need to accept, or you don't need to straight away reject. We will question Patanjali also. So that's why I'm asking you to raise your questions. It is not in my experience how it is like that. Or I am experiencing different way how it is like that. Because the current world, the time we are living is not just based on the belief. We are bringing that into experience. Then there is no question of belief, which we can see very clearly. We can't lead the life just based on the belief when you obviously experience. So I hope you got the answer for this question. Can someone be in a contemplative mind, a level 5 mind, in a continuous way, 24/7 in the current world? There is no question of current world. So it is possible with the understanding. Thank you all.